Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Zulkarnain on Fire. So now today we are going to start we are, an operating system which you never ever heard. Windows Neptune or Microsoft Neptune. Let us tell you about the Microsoft Neptune. Neptune was a code name for a version of Microsoft Windows under development in 1999. Based on Windows 2000, it was originally intended to replace Windows 9X series and was scheduled to be the first home consumer-oriented version of Windows built on Windows NT Core. Internally, the project name was capitalized as Neptune. History. Windows Neptune largely resembled Windows 2000, but some new features were introduced. Neptune included a log-on screen similar to that later used in Windows XP. A firewall new to Neptune was later integrated into Windows XP as a Windows firewall. Neptune also experimented with new HTML and Win32 based user interface only intended for Windows ME called Activity Centers for task-centered operations. Only one alphabet of Neptune, 5111, was released to testers under a non-disclosure agreement and later made its way to various beta collector sites and virtual museums after it was leaked in 2000. It is the only build of Neptune that made its way to the public. Other builds of Neptune are known to exist due to information in beta builds of Windows ME and Windows XP. A build 5111.6 per lab disk was also shown during a Microsoft Channel 9 video in November 2015. Build 5111 was the last build of Neptune that was sent to external testers before the project was cancelled in early 2000. The dot one or dot six after the build number stood for variant, not for compile. Build 5111 included activity centers, a new task-based user interface that featured individual pages focusing on daily tasks and facilities that include but are not limited to browsing the internet, communication, document management, and entertainment. It is not installed by default, however, and must be installed by copying accore.dll from the installation disk to the hard drive and then running Red Server 32 on accore.dll. The Activity Center contained the rest of Windows ME, then codenamed Millennium, which was originally developed for, but were broken due to JavaScript errors, missing links and executable to the game. Photo and music centers. In response, some Windows enthusiasts have spent years fixing activity centers in Build 5111 close to what Microsoft intended. User management was also improved in Neptune with the introduction of several new user types as well as a dedicated full screen user interface. The new interfaces were primarily implemented using Internet Explorer's web technology, often using the then new Mars framework. A key focus of the Neptune product was to experiment with user experience that did not require manually saving previous work. Some of this effort is visible in the only available build, which enables hibernation by default and requires the user to take extra steps to fully shut down the device. In early 2000, Microsoft merged the team on working on Neptune with that developing Odyssey, the successor to Windows 2000 for business customers. That combined team worked on a new project codenamed Whistler, which was released at the end of 2001 as Windows XP. In the meantime, Microsoft released Windows ME in 2000 as their final 9X series installment. Early development builds of Whistler featured an improved version of the logon screen found in Neptune Build 5111. Triton. Neptune was intended to have a successor named Triton, which was a minor update with very few user interface changes. Service packs were additionally planned for it. Triton was slated for a spring 2002 release, coinciding with Microsoft's final fiscal quarter of 2001. Triton was devised back in 1998 alongside Neptune. The only details alongside Neptune. The only details of it within Microsoft internal planning documentation that year released a deadline for its hardware support by December 2001. According to Paul Thurut, the timeline of releases was to be Windows NT 5.0, a preliminary name for Windows 2000, for high-end workstations, and Windows 98 for entry-level and mid-range PCs from 1998 to 1999, followed by Neptune in 2000 and 2001 for both workstations and consumer PCs, followed by Triton for the same target audience. However, Charlie Kindle stated that Triton was to be a version of Neptune centered on home server usage. The project codename refers to Neptune's largest moon, Triton. Legacy. The touch-oriented Metro design language introduced as part of Windows 8, released in 2012, shared a large number of common goals with the Neptune project, including the unimplemented activity centers focused on typography as well as a dedicated full-screen application for common tasks. In addition, Windows 8 introduced Hybrid Boot, a functionality that takes advantage of hibernation to capture initial states of necessary system applications and boot drivers, largely similar in principle to the boot accelerator feature that would have been included as part of Neptune. I love this. I will see you soon.